Okay, I have come up with an idea of how to gather these for the ruching. So I ran 2 rows of stitching, forming a channel on the edges, and I wove through just some cotton yarn. And then I'm going to tie it at one end and sew it down so that it won't move by like folding it over like that, and then pull the other 2 to ruche it up. So that seems to be working. I have done these 2 and I'm playing with some trims here, and it looks good if I can show it. So I'm definitely leaning towards putting the lace. I didn't like it here, but I think I like it here, up under the 2 rows of trim. This one's going to go up against the back, and then there's the one on the bottom. See, nothing's sewn, nothing's done, I'm just pinning. I think I figured out where else I want to put in these pearls. I think I'm going to put them along the back with some other trim, and along the bottom of the front there on the actual bodice, and then I have a couple other ideas too. So I'm just pinning and playing right now. This is why I wanted to get it done. That is where we are. I'm gonna go finish pulling up and pinning on all of the, I've got the 3 for this side, the 1 small one at the bottom. I gotta do the other 2 for the other side, and yeah, it's just the process of pinning and trying and pinning and trying trims at the moment. So this is the fun. Get to decorate. Okay, I've been laying some things out trim wise, and this is one of those situations where I'm gonna figure out one thing, and then I'm gonna move on and figure out the next thing, because I have a lot of ideas and a lot of trims available, and this is turning into a little bit more epic than I initially anticipated. But isn't that how costumes usually go, right? You don't over trim it. Can you over trim? I don't know. I'm about to probably find out if you can over trim a bustle gown. So what I've got so far is I pulled up, went digging in my stash, and I have this, I don't know if it'll show, this lace. Those are little roses in there. I really wish it would show. It's really pretty. It almost looks crocheted, but it's not. I mean, honestly, it looks like needle tatting to be, I don't know, like, that's a lot. So I doubt it is actual needle tatting, because I have done tatting before, but this kind of reminds me of that. Anyway, it's really pretty, really delicate, and what I'm planning, at least for what I figured out, is down the front, both sides of the button, I have, if you can see it, pinned on and around the neckline. It's 2 rows of the lace back to back, and I took it over to the machine and stitched it together all the way down, long enough to do all of that. And then right in the middle of it, I have this gross grain ribbon, and it's pretty close match wise, and it looks good in my opinion. And I'm going to pleat it up like that, which I have pleated a whole 2 rolls of gross grain ribbon before like this when I made Felicity, for anybody that knows American Girl, Felicity's blue Christmas gown. I made that for my daughter several years ago. We've already since passed it on to someone else because she has well and truly outgrown it, but that's like my favorite American Girl doll. I made the doll version of the dress too, which she has somewhere in her room still. But to do that, I pleated up a ton of this ribbon, and it took a while, so I am anticipating this also taking me a while. But what I'm going to do with it is pleat it up and then sew it right down the middle on top of that seam line that I did for the lace. That's where I'm going to start. I still think I'm gonna be putting the pearls across the bottom somewhere. I know I'm still putting this trim that I also used on the aprons for the skirt in there somewhere. I have some ideas, but it was really getting challenging for me to lay it all out with all of its ends because I was trying not to cut anything before I knew exactly how much I needed and what I wanted to do. So I know I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. And I'm still figuring out if I want to incorporate this somewhere in there too, because this is going to be incorporated a little bit in the skirt. So we'll see. This is what I have gotten on so far. I used the same look that I did on the apron for around the bottom front here and there. And then I carried this trim all the way here, but I didn't put anything in here. But then I did the pearl all the way around the back. So I know I'm going to do a bow here, potentially with some of the pink scallop lace too. Then for this part, I ended up adding the pink lace here, which I love it so much. And for the record, this has turned into 1870's Barbie. That's what I'm going with because it fits. So I'm going to do some version of this here. I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to include that, but definitely this down here around the ends of the sleeves. I'm not going to put this anywhere else because I feel like that would be too much, and you know, I briefly considered sticking it at the bottom of the sleeves, but I feel like that would be annoying to have the beads all over your arms, so I'm just not. I like it how it is. I think it ties in nicely with the skirt and the bodice, and I'm just going to leave that there. So that's all I've gotten done on it right now. I spent most of the day yesterday pleating down this ribbon, which, by the way, I don't know if you can see, I actually went with a satin ribbon instead of the gross green ribbon. I liked the color match better. So that's what I did. I have come over here and pressed the first two long ones of these down for the skirt and pinned on the scallop lace. So at this point, what I think I'm going to do is take the skirt off of the dress form, pin this on, and then follow this seam line down that I already have stitched to the best of my ability, and just machine stitch it to the skirt. All four of these long ruched panels are on, and the two short ones, so both sides. I also came over here, and to this little part I added a little bit of that lace that I put on the bodice. So I'm trying to make sure I tie everything in together, and honestly I don't think that you can have too much lace. So now I'm going to come back over here and show this. I've started the sleeves. I've gotten the first bit of lace pinned onto both sleeves, and then I need to get that sewn on and then come measure exactly where I want the second one, because with the top of the bodice, the rest of the bodice, I sewed them together and then put the stuff on top of it. However, I want the gap there because I'm still going to do the pleated ribbon to some extent to where it's on either side. However, this that I put on the bottom, around the bottom of the bodice, is going to go in the middle of all of that. So the pink will come out from under it. This will go slightly on top of it on either side. And yeah, so, but I don't want these edges to show, so I need to get this stitched down and then measure out exactly where I need to pin down that one before I get that sewn down. And then after that, we'll begin the process of pleating up more ribbon, which will not happen today. Pardon the noise. I have a Sonic Mania competition going on with the boys out there, so it could get loud. Anyway, this is the finished sleeve. I debated putting this pink lace here. I didn't really like it. So I might use up the rest of it somewhere else. I don't have that much of it left, which was kind of the point. When I got this lace, I specifically bought it with this fabric in mind. So I don't really want to have a little tiny remnant of it left over that I feel bad about getting rid of. I'd like to use it all. I didn't like it in the sleeve that much. I'm still playing with the pleats, and I've got some pins here where I pinned up some ribbons under here to try to hold the pleats, but it's still not holding it well. So I'm probably going to have to take this off, lay it flat, and then like do some sort of tacking stitch that's hopefully not visible to hold the pleats in place all the way around, which will take a while because I will have to do that by hand. Because the thing is, the fabric is just so heavy, they're not staying. And not only is the fabric heavy, but the beads added some weight too. So I'm okay doing that. I'll probably just save that for like last because I'm having fun decorating the dress. And oh my gosh, it's turning out so pretty and so pink. So what I'm doing over here now is making a bow. So this is what I have left of the upholstery fabric, and this is what I have left of the pink, well, and the pieces I've already cut out here. So I think this is the size I want for the bow pieces. So they're right sides together right now, all of these, so I'm gonna go sew them all around, leaving a hole for turning it right side out. But this will be one side of the bow, this will be one side of the bow, and obviously I'll scrunch it up and have a middle piece here. And then these are the sashes that are going to come off the bow. This is the element where I might try to work in more of this pink lace or more of this. This is what I have left of the trims, so not that much. What I'm also thinking is I might do some sort of double bow where this is the bigger one, and then I use a little bit of smaller pieces of, oh, not the lining. This was extra ruche pieces. Little bits of this to make a smaller bow to go like go on top of it. I don't know yet. I haven't decided if I want to do that. I'm going to get this bow done and figure that out. Alright. The bow might have gotten a little out of hand. I ended up putting all this stuff on the front of it. But I love it. I just kept layering and then sewed it all down and then folded a strip of the pink and sewed down that particular trim, scrunched it up, and then came around here and hand whipped it on. And then for the bottom of the sashes, I did basically a variation of the same thing. Down here, came up here, pleated this one this way, this one this way, and then took it over to the machine and stitched it down. So then I'm going to come hand stitch it to the back of the bow and then hand stitch it to the bodice. So I figured out I literally had just enough of this left to do that. So I did it. And it is on. Oh my gosh. It's so pink and white. Oh man, I love it so much. Okay, the last thing that I did is I had just enough of the pink and the white lace to make two of these little 3D rosette ribbon flowers, and I have a couple of jars of pearls that I found at the thrift store a while ago, and so this same stash of pearls that I pulled from to make my daughter's purse handle when I made her the Barbie dress when she went to go see the movie, which is in a video a ways back. But anyway, so I've made one, and I'm going to put the other one obviously on the other side to match. I just really liked that right there. Gave it a little extra. I mean, this whole outfit is extra, let's be real. But I'm going to try to set up the camera and show how I made it. This is what I've got left in my pearl, and I'm going to make that and get that sewn on, and then yeah, the last thing I have to do is the pleat situation. This is the hat, and I'm using the Truly Victorian TV 550. I have this much left of the pink and this much left of the upholstery fabric. So between the two of them, this will be plenty for a hat. and I'll probably still have a little bit left over. I'm still not sure about the actual design that I want, and I am thinking I might want to add a veil to it. We'll see. It turned into a project where I'm going for, let's see how epically frilly we can make it. So I am excited that the dress finally got completed over the weekend. The hand tacking for the pleats on the aprons took quite some time, partially because I had to sit on the floor for the bottom apron to do that, and my body doesn't like sitting on the floor that much anymore, so I had to get up a lot and take breaks. But it got done. It's fine. We're going into the hat, and this project is about done. I'm sitting there looking at the dress on my dress form right now. I love it so much. So I cannot wait to do a final reveal for it. So let's jump on into the hat. Alright, I'm not going to go into too much detail on the construction of the hat because I have a whole video of making this pattern with the previous costume that I did. I'm just using a shorter brim on it, but I will show you where I am right now because I just got into the groove of sewing. And so after all the top and this part, I think it's crown and brim, after they were all sewn, the wires were sewn to the stabilizer, I then covered the top, covered the crown, and covered the brim. And the brim was the most, I mean there's just a lot of hand whip stitching on this because you can't really put it under the machine. But I will say I also covered the inside, and for this part I just glued this on and then put this in and glued that on because I figured out with the previous hat that it didn't call for it, but I liked having the inside covered. So you can see my pins right here. The bias tape is stitched on, and I need to, these pins are holding this top portion of the hat to the brim right now, so I've got to go sew that on by hand because there's the wire inside, and then I will begin decorating. Now the instructions did say to decorate the brim before you did this, but I don't see that I'm going to do any decorations where I couldn't go ahead and put the construction together and then decorate it, because I'm also not sure what decorations I'm going to use yet. So I'm not too concerned about stitches showing because I know that there's going to be some sort of trim that covers them here. But yeah, so I'm pretty excited to make another one of these because my first one ended up being a little bit too small, and even though I measured it, so this is the larger size, and I can already tell you it's better. So I'm gonna go finish hand stitching this, and I might show some of the decoration processes, but yeah, if you want construction of the hat, my other video is there. I will try to put it in the comments, I'll put the link in the comments. I don't know if my comments let me link things officially, but I'll do what I can. Anyway, so I'm gonna go hand sew this and then we'll get to decorating it. Okay guys, I just got to gluing and sewing and it just happened. So, I mean, you don't necessarily need to watch. What I did here was made 2 tubes of this white chiffon that I had in my stash. Sewed some scrap lace on the bottom of it and attached it up under this pearl trim here. And then I had a scrap bit of this lace, which this all came from that lace. And I fussy cut around the rosettes and then the bottom of it to create these decorations. I also hand whipped this lace trim on because it's a wide lace that went all the way around, and used that same lace up here. And then this eyelet lace here, and then I wove that pink ribbon in, used a little bit of lace and a pearl, and made this little rosette. And yeah. Oh, and then I put a few of those same roses just on the edge here where I tilted the hat up. So this is the finished hat. And with that, this whole project is complete, and I cannot wait to put it all on and show it off. So for this video, this is going to be my quick little like for this video reveal, and then I will put it on and put out another video for that reveal, because I've got to plan how I want to do it. But I wanted to show this off so you do get an idea, and I would love for you to subscribe and stick around for more ridiculous fun. There's the back. I love it so much. So I can't wait to put it on, and I hope to see you in that video.